This is Laura Duncan from CSMS. Today we'll discuss linear equations and inequalities. Number 1 says, which graph best represents a solution to this system of equations? Remember, the solution is where they intersect. So we can see all of these have different solutions. Now there's a couple of ways we can handle this. One way is to solve for y and to put it into y equals into our calculator. However, another way is just to solve it. Remember that we solved by graphing, we solved by substitution, and we solved by elimination. I'd like to use elimination because I see this has a coefficient of 1 and this has a coefficient of 2. So if I multiply this equation times -2, I'll be able to eliminate the x. So I'm going to rewrite the original equation of 2x minus 3y equals 0. And now I will distribute this -2 to each term so that I can eliminate the x's. In elimination, I combine the equations. These will cancel out. So I am left with -7y equals 14. I divide by -7 on each side, and I see that my y value will be equal to -2. Now remember, in a solution, I'm looking for an x, y value in a point. So to find the x value, I'll simply take either equation. I want to take this original one because it would mean one less step. And I substitute my y equals -2 into the equation, and now we'll solve for x. So we have x minus 4 equals -7. I'll add 4 to each side so that we can isolate our x. And x is equal to -3. So going back to my point up here, I'm looking for the point -3, -2. That's the solution. So looking at C, I can eliminate that one. Looking at A, -3, -2. That's a point on one line, but it is not a point on both lines. Looking at B, nope, that's not -3, -2. So let's look at D now. -3, -2. That is the point of intersection. So that is the solution to the system of equations. Now let's look at number 2. If the system of linear equations are graphed on the same coordinate grid, which of the following is a solution to the system of linear equations? Well, one of those equations is all set for graphing. Now remember, you could put these into your y equals in your function and look at the graph. But today we will graph them on the plane ourselves. Remember that this is y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept, the beginning point. And then we move by doing the slope, which is -1/2. So that would be down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. And then you'll graph your line. To graph the other line, it's not in slope-intercept form. So to put it in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, we will isolate the y by doing the opposite. I'm going to rearrange this so the -2 is first. So we have a slope of -2 and a y-intercept of 1. So I graph the 1, and this time I'll go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Well, you can see right there what the solution of the equation is. It's where they both cross. And that is the point 0, 1, because they have the same y-intercept. So when we look at this, we can see that the answer is D, not here. Now let's turn our attention to number 3. The length of a rectangle is equal to triple the width. Which system of equations can be used to find the dimensions of the rectangle if the perimeter is 85 centimeters? Let's begin with the first statement. The first sentence gives us our first equation. So it says the length, that's L, is equal to, that's an equal sign, triple the width. Triple implies that the width is being multiplied by 3. So when we look at our answer choices, we can eliminate F and J. Now let's look at the second sentence. The important part is if the perimeter is 85 centimeters. Remember, when we have a rectangle, we'll have length and width and length and width. To find the perimeter, you always add up the sides. So that would be 2 L's and 2 W's equals the perimeter of 85. Now looking at our equations of an answer choice H and answer choice G, which one best matches our formula for the perimeter? Well, G is showing 6 W's. And H, if we distribute the 2, would be 2 L's and 2 W's, as in the equation that we just wrote. So H is the final answer. Let's look at number 4. An online digital game and movie company rents video games for $4.99 and movies for $2.99. In 1 hour, the company rented a total of 35 games and movies. If the total rental income for this hour was $144.65, not including tax, which of the following statements is a reasonable conclusion? This is a system of equations, so let's first start by defining our variables. Please pause the video here to define your variables. Now let's look back at the scenario to help us write our equations. First, let's look at the first sentence. It says they rent for $4.99 and movies for $2.99. That has a value associated with it. Well, if the $4.99 is for video games, it would be $4.99 for each video game. Added to that would be $2.99 for each movie. Now, what's the value in our statement? The value would be $144.65. So that's our first equation. Now the next equation is going to be based on what information they give us. It says there's a total of 35 games. That's what I like to call a count. It's a total of 35 games and movies. So we'd have M plus V equals 35. Now you have 3 choices to solve this. You can solve it by graphing, you can solve it by substitution, or by elimination. Please pause the video here and solve using your most favored method. I chose to use elimination, and I eliminated the movies and found that the videos that were rented equals 20. Then I substituted that back into this original equation right here and found that movies equals 15. Now let's go back and see each scenario in the answer choices. The total rental income for movies in this hour was $99.80, not including tax. So according to what we found, the number of movies was 15. Well, how much does each movie cost? It equals $2.99. So when we multiply that, we found that $44.85 was the rental income. So we can eliminate F as an answer choice. G, there were more movies than video games. So the movies was 15, the video games was 20. So that's also false. H, there were more video games than movies rented. Yes, that would seem to be the answer. But let's look at J. The total rental income for video games in this hour was $74.85, not including tax. So there were 20 video games, remember? And each video game cost $4.99 to rent. So you can see the income for that was $99.80. So that eliminates J, and we are sure of our answer H. Let's look at the last question. In 2004, a married couple could have calculated their estimated income tax, T, for that year using the equation in which C represents their combined taxable income. If a married couple had a combined taxable income between $60,000 and $64,000, which of the following is a reasonable amount for their income tax? Let's begin with the equation. The T is equal to the tax, and the C is equal to their combined taxable income. So let's look back at the question. What does the $60,000 and the $64,000 represent? That represents their C, the taxable income. So since we have two different numbers, we can simply input C of 60,000 into the equation and find out what their tax would be. So substitute 60,000 for your C and then solve to find out what the tax would be. So for 60,000, the tax would be equal to $8,475. Is that going to be a lower range or an upper range? Now let's look at the next one for 64,000. We'll also substitute that into our equation and then solve. Now we have our lower range and our higher range. So let's look at the answer. Only one of the answer choices should be between these two. Looking at F, F is too low of a tax to pay. H and G are also over the highest tax amount that they would pay. So G is the answer. This concludes your lesson.